All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, our two great kings, the gods that the King James Bible speaks of, which again, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, who the world of ignorance calls Christ. True name is Yahweh Shai. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar, and on down that rule well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson on how alone the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video Too Much Division in the Kingdom of Edom. This place won't stand, or his kingdom won't stand. All right. And I just want to start off with this, Lord Wills, brothers can see on the screen. I just did a simple Google search for are tariffs something that a country's enemy would do to them. All right, Salakia. And it says, yes, tariffs can be used as a tool of economic warfare, which is a tactic a country might employ against an enemy or a rival nation. All right, so I'm gonna pause it real quick. All right, Salakia brothers, Lord Words brothers can see on the screen. The inspiration for this lesson comes from this article here that I have from the, and it says the EU is delaying retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods in hopes of reaching a deal by August 1st. All right, so the EU, the European Union, all right, the beast, all right, which we know that's ultimately going to take part in the Great Whore's destruction. The Great Whore, of course, being Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, this is the beginning phases of the build-up to the beast hating the whore. All right, because ever since this devil Trump got out, really even going back to his first term, he's been poking the beast. All right, the beast again, of course, being the NATO and the EU. All right, his first term, saying stuff like, the European Union or NATO was pretty much NATO was pretty much worthless because America's not in the EU. They're in NATO. They're a NATO member, saying that NATO was worthless. We shouldn't really even be in NATO. All right, we're getting ripped off by them different NATO countries. All right, so on and so forth. And he's also said a few times he's has considered pulling America out of NATO altogether. All right, if America's not treated, more fairly. All right, with the business that they conduct, the business conducted in NATO, if they don't, pay their fair share, or whatever, that they just pull out of NATO altogether. All right, because again, basically, like he said, Trump said that them different NATO countries is ripping America off. All right, but ever since his first term and his second term, he's been poking the beast like crazy. All right, with him, putting tariffs on them, talking about putting tariffs on them, and they're supposed to be allies. All right, they're supposed to be allies. They're supposed to be on the same team. All of the House of Edom, rather it's the American Edomites, the European Edomites, the Russian Edomites, the Australian Edomites, or whatever. They're all supposed to be on the page. They're all supposed to be on the same team. All right, but prophecy has to take place. That's why there's so much division in the House of Edom. All right, because this is a prophecy. All right, instead of all coming together and building together or whatever, they're at odds with each other. And why is that? It's because it's prophecy. All right. Esau has to destroy Esau. The Egyptians, the Lord said he was going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. The modern day Egyptians are the Edomites. All right, so it says the EU will suspend retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods scheduled to take effect Monday in hopes of reaching a trade deal with the Trump administration by the end of the month. This is now the time for negotiations. The European, and they're on the stage, they're allies. They're supposed to be allies. All right, and again, like I just pulled up and read through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Tariffs is something that you do to an enemy country, the country that's your enemy. All right? Pull it up one more time, Salakia. So yeah, again, yes, tariffs are sometimes used by countries against their adversaries or in a situation of tension or competition, right? So again, like I said, it's just tariffs are sometimes used by countries against their adversaries, all right? But again, America is a part of NATO. They're a part of the beast, all right? But they're doing things that an enemy would do to each other, all right? But they're supposed to all be on the same team, all right? But again, prophecy is going to stand, and this is prophecy, all right? This is St. Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, all right? And we're in the Esau's kingdom right now, all right? And there's, again, heavy divisions. Again, they should all be on the same team. They should all be on the same page, especially the NATO nations, NATO and European Union nations. They should all be on the same page, but they're not, thanks to this, devil Trump. Which again, his first term, he was poking the beast. In his second term, he's been poking the beast. All right, which is going to lead ultimately to the fulfillment, like it says in Revelation, of the beast hating the whore and making her desolate. And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every kingdom or house divided against itself shall not stand. Right, so the Lord said, every kingdom, city, or house divided against itself shall not stand. So Esau's kingdom isn't going to stand. All right, too much division. Like the saying in the world, united we stand and divided we fall. Verse 26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Right? Satan, Shaitan, adversary or false accuser. All right, which is Esau. Esau is Satan Jr. Satan Juniors. All right. So the Lord said, if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So his kingdom isn't going to stand. All right. His kingdom is not going to stand. Right. When you're treating your ally like an enemy. Again, this is something that an enemy would do to one of their rival countries or their adversary, putting tariffs on them. All right. And ultimately is going to lead to America's destruction, because the different NATO and EU nations are going to take part. The ones that have the nuclear weapons are going to take part in the destruction of America and the destruction of Babylon the Great. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest, which represents NATO and the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, ye shall hate the whore again being Babylon the Great, aka America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And this is the build up to it. These tariffs, this is the build up. This is the build up, man. Again, Babylon pissing the beast off with things like this, with shit like this. And ultimately, the Lord's going to put the spirit on them and be like, you know what, man? Join Russia, join Iran, and the other nations that have the nuclear weapons that hate this place, and push that button and take part in the destruction of the great whore. All right? And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Where is the fire going to come from? The ICBM nuclear warheads. Verse 17, for Yahweh will put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and this is the will of the Heavenly Father, all right, to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh should be fulfilled, right? So this is the build-up. This is the build-up that's going to lead to the fulfillment of Revelation, the 17th chapter, all right? Things like this. America want to put tariffs on them. We're going to put tariffs on you. And this is something that the enemy does, right, to an adversary, to their country's adversary. But again, they're all supposed to be allies. All right? But prophecy will stand, like it says in Revelation, the first chapter, things was much shortly come to pass. All right? Which again, the different NATO and EU nations, all right, have to jump in this war and fire off missiles on this place as well. And again, this is the build up to it. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. The honors again to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. So like it, peace and safety to you brothers that push this truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.